Here's something quite old. It's from 1975. It's the Klingon second series, six face Star Trek Mego action figure. It's graded AFA 80, card gets 80, bubble 80, figure 80. It came yesterday. Got it at quite a good price. So this is probably the most common Mego vintage figure, Star Trek figure. And there's a variant that you can get this. See the name here is white. Sometimes you can find it with yellow. So 1974 Paramount Pictures Corporation. There's the Mego logo. Then you've got pictures of the different characters: Captain Kirk, Dr. McCoy, Mr. Spock, Lieutenant Uhura, the Klingon, and Mr. Scotty. So the original figures were released without Lieutenant Uhura, so you can get the first series is the 5 circular faces on the card back, and they are worth a little bit more. And then after this they released the aliens, Star Trek aliens, and they're the worth the most, especially the Romulan. That's like a legendary figure. But this is a great looking figure. I mean, the head sculpt's great. This figure uses costume parts from the black, what is it called, Planet of the Apes. So his jacket is modified from a Planet of the Apes gorilla soldier, I think. Comes with the accessories of a phaser and a communicator in a black belt. Those accessories were found on all the other figures as well in this line. And the boots are from a I think they're a pirate figure. So the costume is just a mishmash of bits and bobs, but the head sculpt's quite great. And this one's quite easy to find, so you'll find him in, I'm going to go by UK prices, so on eBay you could find him as low as £30 carded, and then graded up between say 70 to 100, and then high graded say U85 and above about 150, maybe a little bit less, maybe a little bit more. And these things are getting, kind of old and scarce. It says manufactured exclusively from Mego Corp, New York, in the British colony of Hong Kong. It's a great looking figure. It's got a cloth costume with the sort of faux leather waist coat with a couple of gold little beads on the top of his, just below his roll neck, and the 2 weapons there in red. So they didn't want to make Klingon weapons, so they just used the what was available and just moulded them in red. It's a great looking card. I mean, it's totally very 70s, very garish and bright and colourful. Looks really cool. So obviously, mainly I'm a Star Wars fan, but I don't mind Star Trek at all, especially the early Star Trek. So pretty good, nice looking card. Collect all 6 of these 8-inch fully posable action figures. Mego would release 3.75 figures with the movie, the motion picture. The back of the card shows you a lovely bright purple background, and it shows you the 2 accessories. You can get these communicators, which would be like really simple walkie-talkies, and then this playset here where you can put all the figures. It opens up, you've got like a telly screen there which you can change the pictures on, and the revolving transporter. So there's all the 6 figures that are available at the time. It's a really nice item. I never had these as a kid. I remember seeing them down where I lived in Notting Hill in the 1970s in the sort of Colville area. So I lived in Colville, and I remember my mum, maybe my sister, I must have been about 7 at the most, and we were crossing the road near Brunel Estate, which still exists there on Westbourne Park Road, and I saw in the shop I think the shop's still there, but it's not the same sort of shop it was back in the 70s. And they had quite a few of these in the window, and I wanted to go in, but my mum was in a hurry, so I think we were catching the bus maybe number 7 or something like that, and that was the only time I ever saw them. I've always remembered that though, so that's 41 years ago at least. So I remember seeing these, but I never had one. That's the only time I ever saw them. So that's the Mego Klingon. Great looking figure. Head sculpt's amazing. There's a few reviews on this on YouTube. There's one that really talks about the blank carded version, and he describes what all the costume parts are and all that sort of stuff. And so that's how I know that the boots are from a pirate figure, and the main costumes from a Planet of the Apes figure. It's a great looking figure, and from 1975 to now, it's how long is that? 30, how many years? 43 years. So it's quite an old figure now. Great looking figure. Is it 75 or 76? Well, it says on the AFA label. Let's look at that. So action figure grader will be interested in this. So it says 1975 Mego Star Trek Series 2 Klingon white name. Card 80, bubble 80, figure 80. So I guess that's why I got this at a more affordable price. It's just a straight 80 rather than 85 subs. But yeah, it looks great. I love the sort of, as I said before, the garish colours. The pink behind Shatner, bright blue for Spock, green, the lilac for Uhura, yellow for the Klingon, and light blue for Scotty. Look great. So it's a really vivid card. And I think this was when I was originally going to get a Star Wars figure. In my mind, it would have been this size, because I think that was the standard in those days. And it was quite a shock to get the figure so small, 3.75, but that's another story. So 1974 Mego, there's the Mego logo, really simple, white background with red writing, and you can now get Megos in America. It's been reissued. I think it's in one store exclusively. He's been reissued as well in a modern update, maybe 5-10 years ago. So Diamond Select. So the card would look exactly the same, the figure's exactly the same, just the card back's different. But this is a nice looking figure for children over 3 years old. Great looking figure though. The boots are quite nice, snazzy. So it's Mr. the Klingon from Star Trek, the original series. These Klingons have been quite evolved of late, especially in the new Discovery. They've really changed them, much to the distress of old school fans. I think most people like the next generation iteration of the Klingons, where they're quite brutal and violent, and hit first then think. So in the original series they were more or less humans with a sort of the raised eyebrow and the sort of goatee beard look. Good old Dr. McCoy and Spock. So who's left alive out of these two? Lieutenant Uhura and Mr. Shatner. Two are left. Great looking figure though. Just imagine how old this figure is. I mean, I think a lot of these are, the U-85 ones were found in a case, and they were just sent to AFA or UKG. It's Really nice figure though. So that's the Klingon from Star Trek the original series by Mego, 1975, Series 2, white name. Great looking figure. So what do you think, action figure grader? Sweet. I'm sure you'd want one with higher grades though, at least 285s in the subs. You probably want a U85 one. Anyway, cheers, bye.